Hi, my name is Jose with Garage Gurus. In today's tech tip, we're going to show you how to code a tail light of this 2023 F-150 that I have behind me. As I stated before, we have our 2023 F-150 with the side object detection module, which is part of the tail light. That tail light is prone to damage, collision, or simply they're backing out of the garage and they hit something and whatnot. And a lot of the times the lens will crack, will get water in there, and then the corrosion takes down the module. So in this tech tip, we'll show you how to code the module. Also know that there's a difference between programming and coding. A lot of the time when it comes to programming, we have to use the OE tools in order for us to program that module. In this case, we're actually just simply doing coding. As you can see in my bench, I have the CarDAQ-3, and I also have a computer, and we're gonna run ForScan with the CarDAQ-3 as our interface. So let's get down to the ForScan, and we're gonna open the ForScan. And the first thing that we're gonna do is, if you haven't set this before, you can go to settings, you can go to connection, and in this case, we are using the CarDAQ-3, as you can see, as our J2534 adapter. You can also buy an ELM327. You can do it via Bluetooth, or you can actually do hardwire, which will be USB. So now that we have our tool set, we're gonna go to DTCs here, but before that, we're gonna go to the car here in the top, and we're going to connect to the vehicle. As I stated before, we already have our extension to the OBD, so we can do it from this bench, and we're gonna connect to this vehicle. As soon as we connect to this vehicle, since we actually recognize this vehicle in the past, we can see that we're prompted with this vehicle. You could say yes, or you could say no. One of the things that I like to do is just say no, but I mean, you can save the vehicle if you wanted to. It's up to your preference there if you wanted to keep it in your library there. I'm gonna hit no. And then we're gonna start scanning the vehicle. In this case, we had a tail light that was damaged, and one of the codes that we're gonna get out of this, it's gonna be a U3000 code for vehicle identification number incorrect in our right-hand tail light, which is part of the obstacle detection module. So once we're doing this scanner here, we're actually scanning all the modules here. We can see right off the bat that we have a U3002 code with a byte of 62 AF. And we're gonna go to the definition here after we finish. So once again, it tells us if we want to save the profile of this vehicle. I'm gonna hit no. Like I said, that's just your preference. You can save this vehicle. If you're always communicating to this vehicle, it's actually easier to recognize the vehicle. I'm gonna hit no. Then we're gonna go to DTCs. And as we stated before, we have vehicle identification number. In this case, we have placed a tail light with a, in this case, vehicle object detection module that has a different coding. So one of the things that we're gonna do beforehand, we're gonna go here to the chip where it says configuration and programming. We're gonna select that, and then we're gonna go to SODR, and we're gonna go to as-built data, okay? We're gonna hit the play button right at the bottom where it says run the service procedure. And it tells us that, it could be not safe if we actually run this function, because it tells us that if we put in the wrong information, then it's going to put another coding on this module as stated by this warning message. So we're gonna hit OK. And one of the things that you can see right off the bat is that you see a bunch of hexadecimal numbers. So as pairing this vehicle right here, one of the things that I did is that I put in you can actually put in the VIN number into a hex to ASCII calculator. In this case, I placed the VIN number already in here. And you can see that we're gonna find a lot of these numbers in this coding right here. So I'm gonna go to the top. Here's our VIN number. And here is the VIN number that belongs to this vehicle right here. As you can see, the 3146 in ASCII belongs to a 1. Okay, so that's one of the things where we're actually getting this VIN, and we're getting that code triggered because we have the wrong VIN in this module. So as you can see, it's the wrong coding, it's the wrong VIN. Now we have to code it to the right VIN. So one of the things that we could do, we could actually input this information in here manually, but this tool makes it really, really easy. Forescan, one of the things that we can do is we can actually hit load factory as-built data, which we are. We hit yes, and it says that it has been loaded. So once we do that, we can compare the to the calculator, and we can see if anything changed. Right off the bat, we see that we did, in fact, had a couple changes in here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to write it all, okay? So in this case, we're going to overwrite the old calibration or the old configuration that we had in this module, and we're going to write it. And it's going to tell us to switch the key on and off. You can do that. You don't have to. In this case, we're not going to do it. We're going to simply hit OK. Now we're going to go back to our DTCs, but one of the things that we have to do first is actually terminate this service function. So we're going to go into the stop button at the bottom. We stop it. We go to DTCs. We read DTCs once again. We're going to clear them since we changed the configuration now. And it tells us to cycle the key. We don't have to do it. In Ford, you don't have to do it. We just simply hit OK. And as you can see, we have no more DTCs because we actually changed the coding to the actual VIN of the truck, and it's good to go. A lot of the times, one of the other things that you can do as well, if it's required, always read service information, is to see if this detection module actually requires a calibration. So one of the other things that we can do is go to the wrench here, and it will tell us if it needs a calibration. In this case, we could actually make one or do one. So this one is a dynamic, where we actually take the vehicle out and drive it. So that would be the second step to do. In this case, at this time, as you can see, we don't have a VIN problem anymore, and therefore we can go ahead and do our calibration by simply hitting on the wrench and do the calibration according to this module right here. So this time, as you can see, it was a pretty simple process that we went through with Forescan and changing the configuration, which at the end of the day configured the VIN number to this truck. As you see, it's pretty simple with our CarDAQ-3 or the interface of your choice. Once again, my name is Jose with Garage Gurus. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And for more information and more tech tips like this, please visit garagegurus.tech.